And we are live. Hello, everyone. Let me adjust the volume here. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. It's working. Things are working. Okay, good. It looks like we are broadcasting. We are back at the TBD studios. Thank you to the proprietor. We're going to be watching some wonderful Trump interview here. I'm guessing it's going to be wonderful. He usually puts on such a good show. Hi, JoJo. Thanks to At Random sponsorship of our YouTube TV. We're going to be watching that. We're not going to be watching, this is the way we work. Angry coasters happening all over. I'll take a moment of personal privilege. I miss Pembroke Studios, mostly because of Pembroke, the kitty cat. So his grandparents are back, so he no longer needs to be sat on. He did not enjoy that at all. But they asked me to cat sit, and that's what I did much of the time. It gets tiresome, though, because the claw marks, I'll show you guys the claw, because you sit on them, and then they can I get that on camera? Like, they just, it's terrible. So, what are you going to do? This coaster is going to make noise. Look at this magic coaster. You know why? You know why that's happened? Because this is full of the vaccine. It's magnetized. See? Look at that. That is what happens, kids. And will the FDA tell you that? No. No, they will not. And that's why you have to come to me. So this is my booster shot right here. And by booster shot, it is Everclear. Because alcohol is in hand sanitizer. So if you drink a lot of Everclear, you are clearing your system of the virus. That's what they say. When you get a virus, you get the herpes, you clear it from your system. Everclear. Science, folks. That's how this works. Speaking of being banned from YouTube, still demonetized, do not drink Everclear to stop the virus. That is a joke. Drink Everclear so you can avoid your children. That's what Everclear is for. At Random says, I literally joined the broadcast, immediately heard my name. Well, this is what we did. We've been sitting here, we've been broadcasting now for 3 minutes and 37 seconds. The first 3 minutes and 12 seconds of which, we just sat here with me saying, at random, at random, at random, and then you were here. And then we're like, well, now we can move on. So, Trump has gone nuts. If he wasn't already, he's just nuts. I saw a little bit of the Hannity interview he did the other day. I know everyone has covered that extensively. I've got a Newsmax interview that he did yesterday, I think, or the day before. He's been everywhere. He's just loving this. He is loving America in crisis. So, is that all ice, Heavenly Father? Mostly. You see, what you want to do, the vaccine has to be kept at negative 75 degrees Kelvin. Might be Kelvin. Not really sure. But it's really, I just read like the first couple of letters of a word, and then that's all. That's what I go with. I find that to be really a Smith way to live your life. Let me put on some giant headphones here and see if I can hear what she's saying, and we'll see if you guys can hear what she's saying. We'll go from there. Now, I really enjoy the interviews with Maria Bartiromo and Trump carcinoma because they are both overtalkers. So, and neither of them has the intellectual capacity to speak, pause, and let the other person speak with the telephone delay that they have. And Maria is somewhere, I don't know if she's back in the studios or not, but wherever they have her, there's terrible delay all the time, and she just doesn't deal with it. Some journalists, it's tough to do. Don't get me wrong. But after, I don't know, 30 broadcasts, you should be able to do it. So Trump will say something, it's delayed. She says something, she's anxious. And so she starts talking again, and then it just becomes a blah, 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 both of them talking at the same time, which I really enjoy. Mostly because my brain it's forced to do two things at once. Try and understand what Trump is saying, and at the same time, try and understand how any of this happened. And also what Maria is saying. We can usually hear Maria because she's a little more, what was Hillary? Shrill. That's what it was. That's why she's not president. Oh, yes, and she shuffles her papers. So thank you very much, Ann. I also enjoy the paper shuffling. So we'll be listening. I don't have any papers behind me. Hold on. Oh, you know what, guys? I have here camel and 3 jugglers. I have here a birthday card from Montpere. And we have a tradition in the Williams family. When you get your birthday card, it comes with a check inside for the number of years old that you are. So we'll be opening that up later. I told you guys we would do that. I couldn't find it at Pembroke Studios, so we'll do it now in TBD Studios. Yellow is such a fun, happy color. That is correct, Tracy. Judges? I don't know if the judges are piped in here at the studios, though. That's the problem, because every time we change studios, we don't know. Let me just adjust the judges. Hold on a second. Guys, can you hear me in the booth? Are you there? Yeah, you click number 3. There, they got it. Okay, judges are here, everybody. Coming from Broadcast News, that is a big no-no, which I don't know what the big no-no is. The tease? The tease? Or being shrill. Yellow is such a fun, happy color, says Tracy. We read that already, but I'm not about avoiding the repeats. Some repeats are fun. I mean, how many times did we watch each episode of Gilligan's Island? Because there was nothing else. That's where we are. And this is essentially what we are with Trump. It's just everything is a repeat. I'm sure whatever he says here, he had said the previous night on Hannity. It's the same stuff. The shuffling of papers. That's what Ann was talking about. Okay, here we go.
Over completely. Your thoughts on...
So she's talking to the president. You guys can hear her because I got her in my phones, in my cans, as they say in the Indust. Here we go.
What went wrong?
What went wrong with Afghanistan is the question.
Well, first of all,
Oh, by the way, this is political commentary. I am providing, I hope, additional entertainment. We are taking a news source of a prominent political figure through the use of fair use, which is legal, and we are presenting commentary, we are reacting to that, and we are providing a town hall forum right there in the chat room. Not only on YouTube, but on multiple formats. If you're watching us on the Twitters or the Twitches, stay on the Twitch, because you guys can swear if you want to. If you're watching on Facebook, come on over to youtube.com/KevinLeeFather. Watch us there. That's the quickest chat room in terms of reaction time. So let's sit right back and we'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic.
watched Lee for a long time, and she is fantastic. And usually she gives me good numbers, but when she does...
What went wrong in Afghanistan? Well, I've been watching her for a long time, and she's just fantastic, and she gives me great numbers.
I don't like her as much, but that's okay. But she is really, I think she does a great job. Very interesting to watch. And
that was super interesting.
It's a mess like nobody's ever seen before. This is the most embarrassing moment.
No one's ever seen a mess like Afghanistan before. No one's ever seen people clamoring to get on a plane or a helicopter when they leave a country. No one's ever seen that. No one's ever seen something like, oh, I don't know, a wall going up in Berlin and people scrambling to escape decades of communism. No one's being shot as they tried to scale the wall. No one's ever seen that.
In our country's history. It's a military defeat. It's a psychological defeat. Russia.
Well, no, it was a military surrender. You surrendered to the Taliban. You signed a peace agreement with the Taliban saying that you were going to get out of the country. That's what you did, sir. You know it's a lie because I said sir. Let's take a look. Let's just, have I got it? I think I do. Yeah. This is what Trump agreed to. This was the Trump peace deal. We have it. This is from the State Department. I didn't just type this up because inherently I'm lazy. Just ask that girl that I've been stalking for 3 years. She has no idea. That's how lazy a stalker I am. Let's see. Okay, so part one. United States guarantees basically we're going to reduce our forces to 8,600. This is the deal with the Taliban. The Taliban who have been waiting for the U.S. to leave. U.S. came in after 9/11. They attacked. The Taliban were forced to run to the caves. They were arrested. A lot of them died. They were put in prison. They've just been waiting for the U.S. to leave. The saying in Afghanistan is the U.S. has the watch. The Taliban have the time. They've just been waiting. Remember when we were going to get out of Iraq and they're, oh, you can't announce when you're going to cut and run. You can't do that. They'll come right back in. And what happened? They came right back in, and then ISIS established the caliphate, blah, blah, blah. You don't just desert like this. So not only did they desert, not only did Trump agree to cut and run, he surrendered the country to them. Next 135 days, we're going to reduce it down to 8,600 forces, and the coalition, NATO, etc., they're also going to reduce their forces. Nobody from NATO or any of the other countries signed this agreement. This is just a Trump-Pompeo thing, okay? NATO's just like, what are you talking about? We can't just leave the country. After that, the United States, its allies, and the coalition will complete withdrawal of all remaining forces from Afghanistan within the remaining 9.5 months. United States is committed to start immediately to work with all the relative sides on a plan of expeditiously release combat and political prisoners as a confidence-building measure with the coordination and approval of all relevant sides. So they've agreed that they will release up to 5,000 Taliban prisoners. You know, the ones who killed the 2,400 Americans. We're just going to release them from prison. You got to talk tough. They got to take you seriously. Right now, they're laughing at us. All the other countries are laughing at us because you got to do tough things like letting their people out of jail. Trump released 5,000 Taliban from prison. How many of those Talibanis have you seen on TV the last, let's say week? Whipping people, trying to get to the airport, slaughtering people? So those are the bad guys. This is my favorite part right here. I'll zoom in so you know that I'm not making this up. Let's see if I can do a close-up here. Apparently not. How about that? Nope. Let's change. I can change this. I can make it work. This is going to get wacky for a second, people. That's not it. One more time. This is going to be it. Boom. We're there. This is my favorite part right here. You can see it for yourself. The last point. The United States and its allies will refrain from the threat or the use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of Afghanistan or intervening in its domestic affairs. The last thing you'd want to do would be to threaten the Taliban. Just imagine their feelings and how hurt they would be. Meanwhile, you have all the Republicans saying, why isn't Joe Biden talking to the media? Why isn't Joe Biden threatening the Taliban? Joe Biden should not be talking to the media right now. He's doing the right thing, not answering questions. Because if you upset the Taliban, they will exploit that down the line. That will be nonstop 24-hour news in Afghanistan. And right now, we have thousands of Americans and Afghan allies who are under direct threat from that said Taliban. So let's make them angry. Let's take their religious fundamentalists and make them angry. You know, the ones with the American rifles. Insane. Let's go back to the interview. You see what I do, YouTube? I take 13 seconds of Trump speaking and I drone on for about like 11 minutes. So I do add value, okay? People are still watching. I don't know, like maybe 2, but they're watching. Thanks for sticking around, guys, through my rant. Hopefully we all learned something together. Not to waste your time on YouTube. Here we go.
China. Kim Jong-un, North Korea, everybody, they're all watching this disaster, and they're laughing at us, and they're having a good time.
They're having a good time. They might be. I don't know. He might be right on that.
Europe is laughing. Europe has been very tough to deal with.
Europe is not laughing. The Europeans are part of the coalition. The Europeans have people trapped in Afghanistan. They are not laughing right there. They were assured by the Ghani government, that's the Afghan government led by Ghani, that this would not happen. They were contributing in blood and treasure. I said it, God damn it. I said I would not say treasure. I'll tell you guys the truth. I need to come clean. Back on Friday, it was my birthday. And every birthday, as a group of friends, every time somebody has a birthday, we say, well, what's the drinking word over the next week? And because I don't want to get drunk, right? I'm too old. I can't handle my alcohol anymore. And I just randomly said, like, treasure, thinking, when am I going to hear the word treasure starting Friday through today? Blood and treasure, blood and treasure, blood and treasure, blood and treasure. It's okay to say lives and money. You don't have to say blood and treasure. It really doesn't sound that cool unless you're saying it like a pirate. We just spent too much blood and treasure in Afghanistan. Still doesn't. I need a patch.
Europe is as bad as China in many ways.
Europe is as bad as China in many ways, says the president.
In terms of trade, certainly, and in terms of
Oh, now we're talking trade. We're back to trade. We were talking about Afghanistan about 12 seconds ago.
ripping us off on the military, and Europe is watching this. And
anyway, so the reason I haven't broadcast for the last 2 or 3 days, I've been drunk off my ass. Because every time I turn around on the TVs, it's blood and treasure, blood and treasure. Blood and treasure, all the blood and treasure. What has the blood and treasure been good for? All that American blood and treasure. Blood and treasure. It makes it sound like they're shipping over chests full of golden doubloons. And they're, we got some doubloons from America. They open it up and it's covered in blood. Oh my God, no, you deal with it. Oh God, I don't want it. Smash that like button, says producer Joanna. Producer Joanna's big on the Insta.
And they are
I should say the TikTok.
laughing. They're all laughing. It's not funny for us, but it's funny for them.
It's not funny for Europe. This is terrible for Europe. The UK is having to deal with a number of refugees themselves, and they have now put limits on which refugees they are going to accept. Translators? Maybe we're wavering. Anyway, now England has gone nuts over that because, of course, the English people support the people who helped them, just as the American people support the people who helped us, unless it's President Trump and Fox News, because they don't want anybody with brown skin coming in.
Too bad.
Well, it
handled.
certainly is a very serious situation for those people left behind, Mr. President. How
Yes.
Well, Maria,
is it
you
possible?
don't take the military
Blah, blah, blah,
out
blah.
first. That's like
Blah, 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 blah. I didn't pause it. I don't know what just happened. Oh, it's the internet's. Give it a second. They've started talking over each other already. I haven't heard paper, but there will be paper. There will be paper
Thousands
rustling.
of
I can
people
guarantee.
there.
Blah, 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 blah.
Maria, you don't take
Yep.
the military.
Yeah.
Well,
badly
it
handled.
certainly is a very serious situation for those people left behind, Mr. President. How
Well,
is
Maria,
it
you don't
possible
take the
that
military
we have
out
tens
first.
of
That's like the
thousands of
Let her finish the question, Donald.
people there?
off the ship.
Jump,
Maria, you don't
jump.
take
Yep.
the military out first.
Well, Maria, you just got it. Chop. What is he trying? Chop.
First, you take the military out last.
Yeah.
This is like the captain jumping off the ship as the ship is sinking, and it's crazy. And he just says, "I'm getting out of here. Just forget the passengers." You take the people up first, and always the Americans first, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but always the Americans first, and then we'll take some people that help them.
There's an old Far Side cartoon. Hold on. It always makes me laugh. Let's see if I can find it. I want to give me a second because it makes me giggle every time. And I hope it's a Far Side cartoon by Gary Larson. And I wonder if I can find an image of it. Yeah. Okay, so this is like a photocopied image off of WordPress from 1,000 years ago. Let's see if I can. Here it is. Far Side from Gary Larson, who one of my favorite cartoonists. Let's move over here. So here's the captain and the mates. They're down in the boat right here, right? And then he's saying, I wonder if that's really true. The cook always goes down with the ship. So everybody's in the lifeboats except the cook. I wonder if that's true. The Far Side just kicks me right in the funny bone. Gary Larson, we miss you. Here we go.
But, we can't take hundreds of thousands of people and then they have their families and this, that. And
yeah, we can. We're the United States of America. There's lots of room.
These were highly paid people. They were there. They knew what they were doing.
Oh, okay. I got it. So we can't take the people who helped the Americans, the people who saved American soldiers' lives. Thank you for your service. By the way, we just signed a peace agreement that's going to give the country back to the people who are going to kill you. Thanks for your time, though. I hope you enjoyed your $48 a day.
Whoever heard of this where you're in a war and then you take everybody with you?
America? This is how we've always done things? Hell, even when America had a war with itself, then we had Reconstruction and everything's like, oh, we'll fix you. Sorry about that, South. No, you're good. You're good. You know what? If we just help out the South, within a few years, they're going to calm down. They're going to stop doing the whole Confederate flag thing. And things are going to be great with the South from now on. I can just feel it.
It's crazy what they're doing and what they're suggesting. But you got to get...
It's crazy. Sticking by our word would be crazy for America to do, says a former president.
Get your people out, and you got to get them out first. Then you take your equipment out. And after you take your equipment out, you bomb the hell out of the forts so nobody else can use them.
The forts. They're called bases, by the way.
Because I was going to do that. I said, I want every one of these forts. It'll take a plane 2 hours. And you bomb the hell out of them. Now they're being used by the Taliban. It's not even believable. But
it's not believable, but okay.
We took the soldiers out first. Now we're trying to put soldiers back.
We didn't take the soldiers out first. We destroyed billions of dollars worth of equipment. It's scrap metal now. And yes, much of the equipment was given to the Afghan army. The Afghan army that Trump bragged about. Trump said the Afghan army was fantastic. I think I even have that. Hold on. Let's see if I've got that. Yeah, here we go. Here's I'm gonna bring that over so you guys can watch it. This is Trump and Ghani, okay?
Good job, and I think people understand.
That's not Trump and Ghani. Stop it. I gotta bring it over. Give me a second here. Again, this is every time I move the studio, strange things happen to me. Here we go. So this is Trump and Ghani.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to have President Ghani of Afghanistan with us. We're working very well together. We're working very hard. Our military is, as you know, over there right now and doing really an incredible job, more of leadership than fighting. We're leading a lot of wonderful Afghan troops.
Wonderful Afghan troops.
Who are fighting very hard. We were just...
They're fighting very hard, those Afghan troops.
Discussing that, and great progress is being made. So it's an honor to have you and all of your representatives with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And then Ghani says some stuff, and then Trump.
But the spirit, and I will, your Afghan forces very closely.
Results that were not within grasp will now be achieved. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President, also. And I think it's important to understand that the Afghan soldiers are doing the fighting. We're training and we're...
Yeah, and why would that ever change? You know, this is the guy who's now saying Biden should have known. Biden should have known. Tell us about your experience with the Afghan soldiers, Mr. President.
We're working with them very closely, but it's the Afghans that are doing the fighting. I've also heard, not only this morning, but over the last few weeks, that the spirit is tremendous over...
Oh, the Afghan soldiers have tremendous spirit. Well, that's important because I know that your voters before the election had tremendous spirit, and you won the election, right? So yeah, nothing's going to go wrong with the Afghan soldiers. So Trump is now apparently totally believing President Ghani, who deserted the country at the same time as the soldiers threw down their weapons and ran away.
There of your Afghan
But spirit. They have spirit.
forces and of the American forces. Rules of engagement are now different than they were, and we're able to do the job. And I will say that the spirit, and I'm hearing it from everybody.
Everybody is telling us. Intelligence services, President Ghani, that other guy with President Ghani, they're all saying what a fantastic army. By the way, I don't, you know me. Well, you don't, but I'm not one to toot my own horn, unless I'm by myself, and it's been a while. I mean, I have needs. But, I don't know, what, like 2 weeks ago? I'm not one to be like, oh, hey, I called it. I was right. I told you guys, but I did. This is what I said. What would happen. What would happen is what I said happened in that. But a couple of weeks ago, I started talking about Afghanistan, saying no one's paying any attention to this. This is what's going to happen. The Taliban's going to be in control. Peace agreement, blah, 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 blah. I am not in charge of myself. I'm not even in charge of my own body. I went to the doctor the other day and demanded an abortion. They wouldn't let me. It's like, apparently it's not my body, my choice. Hold on. I gotta take another dose of vaccine.
Everybody that goes over comes back and said, really, it's like a different place. But the spirit is tremendous.
Spirit is tremendous.
People don't realize you had 20 terrorist groups.
I did predict Trump would win. Oh, look. The sunlight effect is happening. I love this. This is the best time of day. This is why I saved all day to broadcast today. I just love that. That's natural, folks. This is not a filter.
In Afghanistan. This is where the World Trade Center people, I'll call them people.
Al-Qaeda, terrorists, Bin Laden's gang, people. Now, he is calling the World Trade Center people. He'll call them people. Do you guys remember what a conniption fit the right had when a Democratic congressperson said some people did 9/11? Here's their guy. I'm going to call them people because he couldn't think of any other words for the terrorists.
Were trained. This is what happened. You had 20 groups, more than any place else. It's really it's a hornet's nest from that standpoint. We are hitting them very, very hard and very, very effectively, and we really have no choice but to do it. So I'm honored to have you, and I'm very, very happy with what I've heard and the
Honored to have Ghani. You know, it's weird because the last couple of days he's been saying things like he always said Ghani was an idiot. He was terrible and he was no good for the country. Which is weird that you'd be honored to have an idiot with you. Like if I was having dinner with Trump right now, I wouldn't say I was honored to having dinner with Mr. Trump. I'd be like, are you really going to put that much ketchup on your steak? Can you just let the flavor... Have you tried it without the ketchup? Do you want to just have ketchup? I'll eat your steak.
Reports that I've heard from our generals and our people, and I think we're going to be very successful.
Yeah, very successful. Our generals and our people. Everyone was telling him what a great job the Afghan army. So much spirit.
We're there for a number of reasons, but one of the reasons is to stop these terrorist organizations, which for whatever reason seem to accumulate in Afghanistan more than any place else. So we're doing our job. I think we're doing it very effectively.
For some reason. Seem to accumulate. Yeah, because the Taliban was in charge. You know, the ones that you just signed a peace agreement with a few months later.
Tremendous esprit de corps and...
Esprit de corps. That just means spirit in fancy talk. Esprit de corps. I can't believe he knows that. He does know that word, though. He does use it. Excuse me, that phrase, the French phrase, esprit de corps.
We'll see what happens, but I think it's going to be good. Thank you all very much.
We will see what happens. That is his favorite phrase. Let's go back to Maria and see where we got. So we've listened to about a minute and a half of this so far.
And Maria, these are...
LP! Hi, Marcy. Hey, Kimchi. I haven't said really hi to anybody here. Jessica, I think I got you at the beginning. Babe, good to see you in here. Everybody else, Restream Bot, hi. It's actually Michelle today.
very good fighters. These are great fighters. Look, they made...
Oh, he's praising the Taliban right now, by the way. Great fighters.
The Soviet Union, Russia. You know that.
Hold on a second. Did he?
The Taliban. It's not even believable. But we took the soldiers out first. Now...
Okay. He did not pause, and Maria just jumped in there. That's my Maria impersonation, by the way. If you're just joining us, Maria and Trump just talk over each other all the time. Neither of them has patience or mental acuity in order to wait out what the other person says. Let the pause happen naturally, ask the next question, or answer the question. Neither of them, as soon as they hear, they have to...
Now we're trying to put soldiers back in. And Maria, these are very good fighters. These are great fighters. Look, they made the Soviet Union Russia. You know that.
Okay, first off, the Taliban did not fight the Soviet Union. The Taliban didn't exist. It's a mujahideen. Or hygiene. Mujahideen, yes. And the CIA equipped them in order to fight the Soviets. I think I know where he's going here with the Soviets and Russia. The Soviet Union became Russia because it split up. So I'm guessing he's giving Afghanistan credit for breaking up the Soviet Union? Part of it.
They made the Soviet Union Russia, meaning smaller. And we can't have this.
Okay, yes, that's what he meant, but he's just, again, he's America's teacher.
So we have to take you, it's too late now, but
What?
you have to take the soldiers out first and then out first.
No. That's exactly what happened. You have to take the soldiers out last is what you're trying to say. After you bomb them. Mujahideen.
First into the field.
So I'm proud of myself. I think mostly in my life, the thing I'm most proud of is that I eventually perfected saying Ahmadinejad. God, that was close. Ahmadinejad. In my head, I can say it. And then what happened? He lost power. But not like electricity. He was booted out. He's no longer the president in Iraq. Ahmadinejad.
You have to take them back so that everybody's protected. The people have to come out of the country first. Then you got to get all your equipment. We have billions of dollars of equipment. They have brand new Black Hawk helicopters. They have everything. And last to come out has...
Right. Remember you gave the Black Hawk helicopters to the Afghan army that you said had incredible spirit and that you funded for 4 years. If you knew this was going to happen, why did you keep giving them $52 billion a year, sir?
To be the soldiers, and I frankly would have bombed every one of the forts because
there are no forts.
You knew they weren't going to last. You knew this. If you go back to my statements from 5 or 6 years ago, I said Ghani's a crook. 100.
No, he did not. No, he did not. I was just looking up Afghanistan tweets. I'll find it. Hold on. Hold on. Here, let's listen. So he's saying 5 or 6 years ago, he said Ghani was a crook. I don't remember that at all.
100%. He lives in magnificent palaces and houses. I said...
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on to your hats because I pulled it over. And where'd it go? I don't know. Oh, well, that was a good attempt to prove my point, which isn't really even my point. Trump repeatedly praised Ghani, as we just saw on video. But I know he tweeted negative things about Ghani as well. I will find it.
And look, he's leaving with all the cash. Ghani's a crook, 100%. He'll never last. but he had a tremendous control over the United States Senate.
Here it is. This is Trump Twitter archive, where you can still get Trump's tweets. So, November 20th of 2019. Thanks to President Ghani for his courageous support. Let's hope this leads to more good things on this peace front, like a ceasefire that will help end this long war. Proud of my team. I'm missing the part in there where he says Ghani is a crook. I'm sure it's there, though. I'm sure I'm just missing it. That's probably me. Sir?
His sole power for office was he controlled us through the U.S. Senate. He made a living off the United States Senate. I'll tell you what, I've never seen anything like it. Every time you wanted to do something, you get a call from 5 senators. But Ghani was a crook,
Mr. President.
bad leader. We'll talk about it someday. But the level of...
Will you? Because you've never talked about it before. This whole, I've said he was a crook 5 years ago, it never happened.
Power he had in the United States Senate. He had more power than anybody. That's all he
Maybe because you kept praising him.
did. He focused on the Senate. Too bad.
And you kept sending billions of dollars. Trump sent, in the 4 years Trump was in office, Trump allocated about $216 billion to Afghanistan. $216 billion did nothing to improve the spirit or the d'esprit corps d'esprit.
Well, I mean, I want to ask you about the...
Oh, wait, is the RBSN thing with the Matt Gaetz thingy happening right now? Is that Thursday? Is that already? Hold on. Let me get out and we'll jump over there and we'll come back maybe. Let's see what's happening with RSBN. Oh, it's happening right now. Holy schmokers. I didn't realize that was... I thought that was tomorrow. This is how incompetent I am. Again, I've been doing nothing but drinking since Blood and Treasure started. I said it myself! Gonna be dead by the end of this week. YouTubes. Okay, here it comes. Bring it over. And let's see if it even exists. Here we go.
That this is not their fault.
We love them. We love all of you. You'll be hearing a lot from us. Thanks for fighting for our country, for our movement.
Yeah.
Make sure you're ready to go caucus for Donald Trump in 2024.
He said cock. So I think we just got the very end of it. Maybe we'll check out Rumble.
We'll be there with you.
God bless you, Iowa. God bless America.
Okay, and there's the song, so we'll stop that right now. That was great. Thank you very much for reminding me of that, guys. Really, really worked out well. No, because we can find it on Rumble. We didn't really miss it. Hold on. Let's see if we can find it on Rumble. Rumble. Let's see. What would it be under Gates, I bet. Let's go there and... Thinking about it. Go ahead.
Remind you, if you want to help out this
Oh my God, that's so loud. Turning it down.
network and help out a fellow patriot like talking about the Marjorie Taylor.
Okay, we're gonna have to wait and see if they replay it or whatever, because it's Rumble. You can't rewind on, so it's pretty bad. Let's go to rsbn.com. Maybe that's a thing now. rsbn.com. It's probably not. And it is... Okay, so let's go to the... Let's just search for... Okay, Twitters. See if somehow we can go back on Twitter. Okay, here.
Knows me really.
No, that's... We've got the clip. Marjorie Taylor Greene says she'll be filling articles of impeachment tomorrow. Okay. All right. Well, let's just watch that, I guess. That's news, I suppose. It's irrelevant.
And Matt knows me really well. Yes, I do have articles of impeachment drawn up to submit tomorrow.
Well, you don't control the House, so nothing will happen with that. I think she's already tried to impeach him, hasn't she? Hasn't she already submitted articles?
Because I believe in firing people when they're corrupt and they do a bad job. And Joe Biden is failing America, and he needs to be impeached.
Look at something's going on with Matt here, because just check this out. He's got like a 1,000-yard stare going on in his eyes right there. He's dead inside. Just watch.
Because I believe in firing people when they're corrupt and they do a bad job. And Joe Biden is failing America, and he needs to be impeached. And
I don't know where Matt is tonight. He didn't bring the energy. Wonder if this was like another 12-minute conference like they did out in Riverside, California. Okay. Now we see Bidenflation. Oh, come on, really? Oh, did he say something about Zimbabwe? I gotta hear what he says about Zimbabwe.
And as if Joe Biden's handling of COVID wasn't bad enough, look at what he has done to totally botch the American economy. When Trump was president, we were bringing manufacturing home. We were raising the wages of our
manufacturing. The manufacture man.
What he has done to totally botch the American economy. When Trump was president, we were bringing manufacturing home. We were raising
the making of manure? Like, what is that?
Wages of our fellow Americans. There was capital investment in American businesses. We were ambitious. We were forward-leaning. Things were going great for our country until China exploded this bioweapon of coronavirus onto the world. And now we see Bidenflation. All the money you've worked for in your life is worth less. If you're a farmer and you've got contracts, you're going to be paid with money that's worth less and less under those contracts. The stuff you buy is going to cost more. You know what?
And the stuff you sell is going to bring in more. See, that's the way Bidenflation works. In fact, that's the way any inflation works. So you know how corn is getting more expensive? That's good, because you sell corn.
Printing money.
Matt, it's very simple. As time goes on, everything gets slightly bigger except the ages of the girls you date.
Made your nation stronger. Zimbabwe would be the most powerful country in the world, but it doesn't, and they're not. I believe in sound money.
Yeah, that's not... Okay. Zimbabwe had terrible inflation under Mugabe. Yes. Argentina's had terrible inflation. Why are we picking on Zimbabwe right now?
Auditing the Fed, making sure that Washington isn't able to just paper over the dreams of the American people and the ambitions of the American people.
I don't know what that means, paper over it. I mean, I do, but why is that what Washington's doing? Okay, this is anti-Washington. It's time for General Milley to retire. Here's MTG saying something.
One thing on the campaign.
One thing on it. Is she from Upper Wisconsin? Because she doesn't.
We're done with the Republican ways of saying one thing on the campaign trail.
Campaign trail. What accent is that? That is not Georgia.
But not doing it when they get to Washington.
Also, what accent is manufacturing?
Now, last time Republicans had full control, the first 2 years under President Trump, Republicans didn't fund and build the wall.
Okay. What party are you part of?
Republicans didn't
D-I-D-N. D-I apostrophe in. I-Y. Didn't. Just say D. Republicans fund the wall.
Fund sanctuary cities. They funded them. Republicans and this.
Well, the Supreme Court said that it's illegal to not fund the sanctuary cities. So
this is the one that blows my mind.
Yeah.
Did not
everything blows your mind.
Fund Planned Parenthood. Unbelievable to me. They funded it. So this time around, Republicans need to take back the House with people that are going to do as they say.
What?
Iowa, you're a great state and you're a great example. You passed a heartbeat bill. We have to fight for the unborn. Nobody can say my body, my choice, because that baby is not their body. That's somebody else's body. We should always fight for the unborn. End abortion. End it. It's the worst evil.
I don't know if it's a worst evil, but okay. Okay, and here we go. Is this the full rally? Oh, it's like an hour 43. We're not going to watch that. I've only got so much time and patience tonight. Let's go back. We've covered like 13 seconds of President Trump here, so let's stick with this for now.
Global implications for this, Mr. President, because one of China's official mouthpiece newspapers, the Global Times, on Monday questioned whether the United States would defend Taiwan in a conflict after the collapse of Afghanistan. Obviously, many people are looking at this and trying to understand what this means for the future of the U.S.'s foreign policy, given the messy American exit from Kabul. Do you expect that the U.S. would be there to defend Taiwan should the CCP decide to use this moment and reunify Taiwan?
When I was president, the very first meeting I had with him, when I was president, I told him, you cannot do anything with respect to Taiwan. It's taboo. You cannot do it. Nothing. It'll be met with great force. And I said much tougher than that, by the way, much tougher. But
much
I don't
tougher.
want to do that on the phone because I want to be respectful because I had a good relationship with President Xi.
He's always talking tough and saying that it was much tougher when he talked. So, but he doesn't really tell us what that means.
And I said, do you understand? He said, I understand. And we had an...
But that, by the way, with every leader, he says, do you understand? And the oh, yes, I understand. And sometimes they just grunt. He said, oh.
Understanding. And there was never a threat in 4 years about Taiwan. Is that right? Never a threat. You never heard about Taiwan in 4 years with China.
No. There were a lot of threats. China said that they would resolutely smash Taiwan when Trump was talking about sanctions. That's what they said. Here you go. Look at this. Here's some evidence, Mr. Trump. China vows to smash any Taiwan independence move as Trump weighs sanctions. There it is right there. On another front, China separately threatened military action to resolutely smash any move toward declaring independence by Taiwan. The threat raised the prospect of regional conflict that could draw in the United States. He may not have noticed, because he really didn't do much as president, never took his presidential daily brief. So maybe he's not lying, or maybe he's just insane. Because yes, China is constantly threatening Taiwan, has been constantly threatening Taiwan, and that is a very Barney Purple.
Going, et cetera, et cetera. As soon as we have the rigged election and I leave, then they go all of a sudden, they're flying.
Oh, here we go. Rigged election.
28 bombers over Taiwan. 2 weeks ago, they had 28 bombers flying. Today, I heard they had bombers flying over Taiwan. I mean, you know, are they doing that for their health? I don't think so. So I think Taiwan's in serious trouble.
They are not. They are not flying bombers over Taiwan for their health.
No respect for Biden. They have no respect for this administration. Now they have no respect for the country. They respected us again like they've never respected us before. I took billions and billions of dollars out in tariffs. I charged them money, and they always used to say, no more tariffs. You know, they gave up. You know, it used to be they'd be cool, and they'd say, well, we don't mind tariffs. You know, they want to act like...
That sounds very Chinese. Sounds like China. Well, we don't mind tariffs. Confucius say, well, we don't mind tariffs. That was in my fortune cookie just the other day. What? Just so... China was never charged anything with the tariffs. That's not the way the tariffs works. Never has been, never will be. It was a tax on the American people.
Yeah, they said, no more tariffs. You can't do this. No more tariffs. I took tens of billions of dollars out in tariffs. No president ever took anything out. I made South Korea pay for their military. I did things that
No, completely wrong. South Korea was always paying for its military. Guess what? Trump tried to get them to pay $5 billion, I think. They were paying about $900 million. Trump said, you got to pay $5 billion. And South Korea just said, no, that's ridiculous. Well, you got to pay it or we're not going to do anything. So they continued paying on the level that they've been paying. Oh, but I just one interjection here. They are paying more now. They increased their payment by 13%. South Korea will be paying this year $1 billion for American defense of their country, for the troops that we have over there. $1 billion. And that deal was negotiated under Biden. Trump tried for 4 years to get them to renegotiate the deal, and they wouldn't.
Nobody ever did. Nobody wants to write about it because it's too good.
And by the way, we don't hear about it at all. But that happened. You got to listen to news sources that aren't American news sources. Like, why? But they keep saying, everybody, the DNC, the MSDNC, the media's in the pocket of the Democrats. But they don't report on things that are really, really positive, like the South Korea military deal. 13% increase this year under Biden. Biden did that. Everybody who's got a kid in the United States, 90% of the children in the United States qualify for $250 or $300 payments every single month. And I haven't heard a goddamn word about it except on Fox News where they said, well, this is socialism. How many families? I don't understand. And the fault lies with the Democrats. Democrats, you have to talk about these things every chance you get. You have to harp on them and you have to repeat them. That is how you get the message out. Repetition. First rule of advertising.
But we did. South Korea was paying for their military. I was going to get Japan to pay for their military.
Japan does pay for their military. Japan just announced a new deal with Biden. Japan is now paying $1.9 billion with a B for their military operations with the United States. Trump tried to get them to pay $8 billion, and they refused. Now that Biden's in, they've agreed to pay more. The world snubbed Donald Trump. Everything that he tells you about bringing in all this money, it's nonsense. South Korea didn't make an agreement with him. Japan didn't make an agreement with him. The leaders play golf with him and have wonderful chocolate cake and tell him nice things. He has a tremendous relationship with President blank. But behind his back, they were not doing anything that he wanted them to do.
And we were doing things, and you know about it because you know about things. I would tell you about things, but we did things that nobody...
Maria knows about things.
...ever did. Hey, we had the greatest wall. We had the greatest... By the way, the wall...
Oh, yeah, they had the greatest wall. There is another wall that they call the Great Wall. I don't know if you're familiar with the 1,300 miles of the...
could be finished in a month.
We had the greatest wall. Of all the Trumpisms, that may be my favorite. That we had, a lot of people are calling it the Great Wall because it's so great. And there's not another wall on the planet that you could even begin to compare. It's like nothing anyone's ever seen before. You can walk along the other Great Wall. It's not really a wall. It's more of an elevated roadway. But you can't count it as a wall. Our wall is a bollard fence with a so it's more of a they call it the Great Fence.
But they don't want to finish it. It would have been built sooner, but I had to defend 2.5 years worth of lawsuits.
The greatest wall.
On the wall.
Yeah.
The greatest wall.
Mr. President, I'm going to.
Blah, 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 blah.
But I want to stay on China. I want to stay on China for a moment. I know that you had a very tough stance on the Chinese Communist Party's bad behavior.
Where is she? Is that San Francisco? Is that the Bank of America Tower? It's not, is it? What is that? Is that Georgia? Where is she?
And you put rules in place. You even supported a bill to ban investing in Chinese companies, but you know, it's a different story.
By the way, Maria just hates China. Half her show every Sunday is about China on a regular basis.
Today, Mr. President, you've got a number of financial...
Wait, is this China? Is she in China right now? Is that why she's trying to get out?
Services companies that have been given licenses as a result of the trade deal that you engineered with Beijing. And now you've got BlackRock, for one, telling its investors they need to up their investing in Chinese companies by 3 times. I spoke with Jamie Dimon about the national security threat that China poses. Listen to what Jamie Dimon said, and then I want to get your thoughts about doing business in China today. Here's Jamie Dimon about 2 weeks ago on this program. Watch.
Yeah.
The national security issue, I think, is real. And
JP Dimon, Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan Chase, right?
When I said you're Jamie Dimon, I meant I know you for a long time. You're not in it just for the money. Or is it just about the money?
No, of course not. I'm a patriot way before I worry about any money or anything like that, or about JP Morgan per se. But you should imagine that foreign policy of the United States is set by the government of the United States. If you start telling companies that they should be saying their own foreign policy, you're actually making a huge error for the United States.
So what are your thoughts here, Mr. President, in terms of operating in China? We know that investors just lost $1 trillion.
He's going to attack Jamie Dimon, is what he's going to do, because Jamie Dimon at one point said I could run for president and beat Donald Trump, or I'd be a better president than Donald Trump or something. And Trump just did not like that at all. So here we go.
$1 at the worst in the month of July because those Chinese companies do not adhere to American standards in terms of accounting. So we really don't know if the earnings are real or if they're subsidized by the CCP.
Well, many companies like Huawei, I wouldn't let come into this country. I also got other countries not to do it. And Jamie Dimon's not a patriot. Not to me, he's not. He's out to make a buck for his company, and I've seen it. I know him well. He's no patriot. Not to me, he's not.
Did he say I hate him?
He's like Huawei, I wouldn't let come into this country. I also got other countries not to do it. And Jamie Dimon's not a patriot. Not to me, he's not. He's out to make a buck for his company, and I've seen it. I know him well. He's no patriot.
No, I don't know what he says, but it's not hate.
Patriot. Not to me, he's not. He's a patriot to his stockholder, and that's fine. That's fine, his stockholders. But I think, look, you have to do what you have to do. China is not our friend, all right? They are not our friend. And they were coming into line really nicely because...
But you're best friends with President Xi of China.
I was tariffing companies like you wouldn't believe. I was tariffing and I was sanctioning people and companies like you wouldn't believe. Same thing with Russia. Same thing with frankly, Europe. If you think Europe's our friend, I mean, Jamie... He was not
tariffing China, or Russia, rather.
Diamond's good compared to Europe. Europe is not a friend of ours.
What? This is now the second time. He's taken a question, and now he's attacking Europe again. Did somebody in Europe say something negative about Trump?
Europe takes advantage of us. They don't buy our products. They don't buy our cars.
They do. Europe is a huge trading partner with the Americans.
We buy BMWs. We buy Mercedes-Benz by the millions. They don't buy. When was the last time you saw a Chevrolet or a Ford in Beijing?
Well, Beijing is not in Europe, so that's an excellent question. I couldn't tell you. I've never been to Beijing. I have been to Europe, and I do see American cars in Europe.
You could say Beijing, but when was the last time you saw...
Hold on, let's go back.
They don't buy our cars.
I think he catches himself here.
We buy BMWs. We buy Mercedes-Benz by the millions. They don't buy... When was the last time you saw a Chevrolet or a Ford in Beijing? Well, you could say Beijing, but when was the...
You could say Beijing, and you did. And that's not right.
The last time you saw it in Berlin. Okay, when was the...
A Ford in Berlin? Well, last year Ford was the number 5 car in all of Germany. Number 5. Considering that there are 4 prominent German car companies, 5th is pretty good. The year before that, they were number 4. In the UK, which, by the way, is part of Europe, a lot of people don't know that. Some people don't even know. Some people call it England. This is true, and a lot of people don't know that. In England last year, Ford was the number 1 car. Number 1 brand of car purchased in the UK, American company, Ford. Chevy doesn't market in Europe, by the way. You're not going to see a lot of Chevys. But Jeeps and Fords, yeah, they're all over the place.
Last time you see them in France, you don't see, they don't buy.
France is not big on American cars. There's Ford Jeeps, actually. Jeep is universally, because it's such a unique vehicle, people do like the Jeeps.
Our product, they don't buy our farm product. We have a tremendous deficit.
They do.
With Europe, $180 billion. Think of that. And nobody ever talks about Europe. They say, oh, wonderful Europe. They want to do the internet tax, and they want to do all sorts of taxes.
Nobody ever talks about Europe. They say, oh, wonderful Europe.
And I met one tax with a very strong. I said, that's fine.
Okay, let's skip ahead here because we don't do entire shows. If you want to watch this show, you can go find this show on your own. What we do is we take snippets of shows and we provide additional insight into them and we react to them. I've been reacting to this. Skip ahead just a little bit here. See where he is.
These beautiful places were ever blown up. I said that to him. And he looked at me and he said, we're dealing...
Oh, he just threatened to blow up parts of China.
...with a different character here. But
hold on. We do have to watch that. Hold on.
And I said it would be a terrible thing. Relationship with President Xi. It's good as anybody's ever had.
Is it a relationship with President Xi as anybody has ever had?
Really a good relationship. I spent a lot of time with him. I was over there. He toured me China and played...
He toured me China. Is that the correct way to say that? Do you say I toured me the museum? I toured him the museum. I toured him my home. You give someone a tour. Is that an expression? Is it okay to say that, guys? I don't even know. Tour me your house. Maybe it's a regional idiom. I don't know. Is it a thing? Teach me this saying. Or is he just being like Yoda?
Places that were incredible, actually. And I said it would be a terrible thing if we ever fought. It would be a terrible thing if these beautiful places were ever blown up. I said that to him. And he looked at me and he said, we're dealing with a different character here.
I bet he did. You got a beautiful country here. It'd be a shame if something happened to it. And he looked at me and he said, we're dealing with a different type of human being here. Yes. Idiots tour me around. But that's like a Southern saying, isn't it? To tour someone around? He toured me China. Toured me China. Toured me. Toured me around Lake Koshlong. That's it from the Urban Dictionary. Hold on. This is the definition of it right here. A term used he toured me around Lake Koshlong. A term used at summer camp to denote the practice of sneaking off to perform sexual acts, usually intercourse. So now we know what happened in China.
But he toured me all over China with the First Lady, and it was beautiful. We had a great relationship.
Oh, with the First Lady, too. So, little threesome going on.
And then, frankly, and I made a great trade deal. That's why the farmers are making so much money and manufacturers. We made a great deal. I don't even talk about it because when COVID came in, which is the Chinese...
But we had manufacturing contraction before COVID under Trump. The tariffs were terrible for the farmers. Record bankruptcy, record farmer debt, record foreclosures, record farmer suicide under Trump. But yeah.
Virus. When the Chinese virus came in, that was so much bigger than anything else. I mean, they owe us $20 trillion.
Oh, it used to be 10. It was 10 at the last speech. In the last, 3 weeks, suddenly it's gained $10 billion worth of interest? Trillion. Boy, I'm having trouble with my numbers today.
Recapture.
I think I've made mistakes like 178,000 million times.
The death. But they owe us $20 trillion. And frankly, they owe the world another $25, $30 trillion, which of course they can't afford.
Well, okay.
But it's
Mr. President, obviously they covered it up.
Blah, 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 blah.
By accident, probably by incompetence.
I think maybe she's trying to get a question in edgewise, because if you let Trump talk, he'll just drone on.
Because the Chinese are incompetent too. Just like Biden is incompetent.
Chinese are incompetent. All right. Well, then we really don't have to worry about them being the greatest enemy of the United States, as you've said many times. But you do have a great relationship with President Xi.
With the way
he toured you China. You know what I'm saying?
Did that Afghan situation that was so incompetently handled. I was on Sean last night. We discussed it in great detail.
Well, I know you did, and I want to ask you about that, Mr. President, because...
Wasn't that the first question that you asked? Now we're 10 minutes later, and you're up. Yeah, I'd like to maybe talk about the news of the day.
Because, of course, you know that the Biden administration is blaming you and your administration. They said that they inherited the situation. So tell me where Biden went wrong.
Hold on. There's an ad on my other screen here. And it says Jennifer Gray is a total bombshell at 61. And I have to know, we're not going to click that ad, but what we are going to do is we're going to come over. Oh, I was just looking up Zimbabwe, as a matter of fact. That is the present president of Zimbabwe, but we were talking about Robert Mugabe earlier. Jennifer Gray. So we're going to look up Jennifer Gray and see if she's a total bombshell at, is it EY? Yes, Jennifer Gray. At 61. Jennifer Gray this is old Jennifer Gray and new Jennifer Gray. And, they're saying she had plastic surgery. But there she is, Jennifer Gray. And, yeah, she looks great. And if she didn't look great, that would be fine too. Yeah, it's great. Is that bombshell material? Sure, why not? Good for her. But now we know, and I did it without going through the clickbait. So I feel good about myself. And you came along for the ride. Jennifer Gray, A-lister or A-minus lister? Remember, my standard for A-plus lister is like Tom Cruise territory. Everybody knows who he is world over. A-lister is everybody knows who they are, but not maybe necessarily world over. A-minus is at some point, everybody knew who they were. Jennifer Gray ever attain that Jennifer Gray status? For me, everyone's like, oh, Dirty Dancing. For me, Ferris Bueller. Was she even in Ferris Bueller? I think that was her.
So when he went wrong when he was born, as far as I was concerned. Take a look at what he's done. I mean, his foreign policy's been a disaster for everything he's ever done.
Yes, she was in Ferris Bueller.
In fact, Gates, the Secretary of Defense, and I guess
she did Dirty Dancing.
Secretary of State at some point knew him better than anybody. Said he never made a good decision on foreign policy. Everything was a disaster. No, he's a disaster, and his people don't know what they're doing. They need help. And if you think this ends yesterday night, that's just the beginning.
Okay, I did not know this. This makes me happy, and I hope that it brings some sort of joy to you. Jennifer Gray is best known for not being a baby in a corner. And by that, she was the star of Dirty Dancing, which I've never seen. But I can tell you, as an artsy-fartsy growing up in the 80s, every girl loved that movie more than life itself. And I get it. I've just never seen it. That was a time where if you didn't go out of your way to see a movie, you didn't see it. Because it wasn't like a time of Netflix and stuff like that. I just discovered by Googling her over here, and I mean that in the most respectful way possible. I just Googled Jennifer Gray, and she was on Dancing with the Stars. And I was like, oh my God, the girl from Dirty Dancing? This is me lifting her up, a la Dirty Dancing. She was on Dancing with the Stars? Oh my God, wouldn't that be terrible if she, danced twice and was kicked off the show because he's not really a good dancer? She won. She won Dirty Dancing in Oh, by the way, she won a Golden Globe for Dirty Dancing as well. She won Dancing with the Stars, and it doesn't say what year on the wiki. But yeah, she won, and she did a Venice waltz. She did freestyle. She did Paso Doble, and she did Cha Cha Cha, instant Cha Cha Cha. I don't know what that is. Oh, we want to watch Dirty Dancing for Friday night movie night? Maybe we'll do that.
The Taliban are tough and they're great negotiators.
But she won. Dirty Dancing girl won Dancing with the Stars. You know who's really into the DWTS? Everyone. You know who hates when they call it DWTS? Me, because it throws in extra syllables. She said Dancing with the Stars. Done. DWTS, that's one extra syllable. And you know me, guys, I'm all about a fish.
You had to get the people out of there. Can you imagine?
Venetian waltz, I know.
Having your military go home and leaving all those people, that's called the lamb being led to slaughter. So your military goes home and they forgot to let the civilians out.
I don't think they forgot. See, remember that guy that you called really, really smart and hardworking? The President Ghani? You remember him? You remember all those Afghan army peoples that you called full of spirit? Esprit de corps? Do you remember that? The guys with the esprit de corps? Avec d'esprit de corps, do you remember? He thought that they would hold back the Taliban. Remember the guys you let out of prison? He thought that that would work for a while. He was wrong.
Forgot to protect.
Yeah, I know, Producer Jojo. She danced the Viennese sausage. I get it.
The embassy. They spent $1 billion building this stupid embassy, which they shouldn't have spent. That was before.
Hold on. At Random says, easier to type when we're already on a delay. If I typed the whole thing, you'd be on a whole new topic. God forbid we ever start a new topic on this show. Kevin forbid.
On my time, by the way.
We're not watching Dirty Dancing. It will kill Plagued by Society. Sorry. Judges agree. They've seen it enough.
But they spent a bit.
Yeah, where did the Vietnamese come from? From the sausage. She danced the Vietnamese waltz. That's what I said. Go back on the tape.
$1 billion building this really stupid embassy, and now these guys are occupying our embassy. They took everything.
Building a stupid embassy. Oh, that's sour grapes. Stupid embassy. Like he walked into it by mistake one day. Who put this embassy here?
It's like...
Yeah, the Vietnamese waltz comes from a can, and it's that's why it's called the can. And if you open it and no one knows it at a party, and the person comes with it on the tray, and you're like, oh, that's the instant Vietnamese can sausage.
So are we supposed to recognize? Are we supposed to recognize?
Just say it. Are we supposed to recognize? It's like a 4-year-old. But Dad, can we I forgot what I was talking about.
As the Taliban, even though this looks like a coup, was this a coup? And we're supposed to recognize them. China says it's...
Well, it's a civil war. Except one side said, oh, no thank you. You know, the ones with the corps d'esprit.
It's poised to recognize the Taliban as the leadership of Afghanistan.
This was a coup of incompetent people.
This is just like Viennese all over again.
Unfortunately, our leadership was the incompetent people. They took over a country in one day. In one day. No, I had a very hard...
That was 11 days, but okay.
...deal with them. It was conditions...
It's a very hard deal. We remember, if you weren't with us at the beginning of the show, we actually looked at the deal. Really, really tough conditions. Don't threaten anyone.
I spoke to the boss. I spoke to the head man.
Baradar? Do you want to say his name? He's not going to say his name. Ahmadinejad?
And frankly...
See? I can do it.
I got along with him great.
Got along with the mullah just super duper well.
I also told him first, just like I got along with Kim Jong-un, look, if it wasn't for me, you would have been in a nuclear war with Kim Jong-un, and Obama expected it, okay?
Nope, nobody was talking about that.
He said, there's no way you're going to stop it. I said, have you called him?
That's
have
what
you spoken to him?
It's gone from Obama told me that North Korea might be the gravest threat that I have to face to, oh, you're going to be in a nuclear war. There's no choice. You're going to die. We're all going to die.
You're going to go to war. You never even spoke to him. But let me just tell you, Maria.
So here we are.
I got along great with Kim Jong-un. I stopped.
So here we are. So, yeah.
The nuclear war. We had no problems, but now he doesn't like Biden. So.
They really, for Trump, they should have a mute button on him at Fox. So that when they're done with, whenever he's off, like now he's talking about Kim Jong-un or whatever. Yeah, we talked about that like 5 minutes ago, and we didn't ask you about it then, but fine. Put him on mute, ask your question. You're welcome.
So here we go again, and Biden's not going to be able to handle it.
Mr. President,
too smart.
Look ahead for us. We are about to mark 20 years from September 11th. It's amazing. 20 years. I was there. You were there. We watched this fatal.
Can I turn up his volume? Yeah. Is he low?
Attack, the worst on our country. Are we safer today or less safe going into this 20-year anniversary of 9/11?
Well, now you're less safe because what's happened is there's no respect for our country. Biden, in 6 months, has destroyed the respect. You know, the border is incompetent and totally incompetently.
The border's incompetent. I had the greatest wall in history on the border, and now there's an incompetent wall.
We have the strongest border. Now we have the weakest border. Drugs are pouring in. People are pouring in unchecked. It's great. I had it. All he had to do is go to the beach. Don't do anything. We had the best border.
I don't know why that's an expression now when it comes to the wall. He's always like, oh, gee, could have just gone to the beach and everything would have been great.
We've ever had. So I looked at that, how incompetent it is. I mean, criminals are pouring into our country through the border. Now you have Afghanistan. This is where.
Okay. Now we have Afghanistan. That's the internet's people. Or it's.
This makes the border look like baby food. This is a much worse situation.
Afghanistan makes the border look like baby food. Is he in his kitchen with his grandkids right now? Is that what's going on? Baby, it looks like a cell phone. Now you got Afghanistan, and it makes the border look like fingers. Baby food. Because you know the old expression, that's as easy as baby food. Oh, yeah, but baby fish mouth is sweeping the nation.
And, you know, again, the Taliban is naturally tough. They've been fighting for 2,000 years. That's what they do.
No, it's 2,000 years. On Hannity, he said the Taliban has been around for 1,000 years. It hasn't. It's been around since about 94. It took over Afghanistan about 96. It was kicked out of Afghanistan in terms of power in about 2001. It's been hanging around, okay? It has not been fighting for 2,000 years. The Taliban did not fight the Soviets. Mujahideen.
You know, you go to the hairdresser and make yourself beautiful. Other people do other things. All they do is fight. That's all they do. That's what they want to do. And
is that what you think Maria does? Goes to the hairdresser and makes herself beautiful? That's all she does. You go to the hairdresser. That's all you do. You make yourself beautiful. And that's all they do is fight for 2,000 years.
This is what we're doing.
So we're supposed to recognize them as the new leadership?
Let him finish.
Are we supposed to recognize the Taliban as the leader of Afghanistan now?
If we had a president who knew, because the president has the power through the presidency to do something very good. But we've let them gain.
What? What's he got the power to do very good that you didn't do for 4 years, sir? What is that power, sir?
You know, 19 steps out of 20. They took over the country in one day because we moved our soldiers out.
Yeah.
We didn't have to move. So I was going to do it. I was doing it.
You said they had to be gone by May. You signed the agreement. We saw the agreement earlier that said you were out of there May.
Steps. I want to be out. For these guys that say stay there, like I was listening to Mitch last night, and he said it's only 1% of our military. That's so wrong.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell was against the withdrawal of forces from Afghanistan.
We spend $40 billion a year over the years. $40 billion, $42 billion a year.
$52 billion.
That's a big percentage of our...
Dude, it was your budget. It was $52 billion.
Military. Russia spends $50 billion a year on their military.
Russia spends $60 billion a year on their military. Why are you just making these numbers up? I think it was 61 last year Russia spent, which is, I remember that because it was like, oh, that's just like $10 billion more than we're spending in Afghanistan. And that's their entire military budget. Russia has a tiny military compared to ours.
We spend $42 billion a year just as little
52.
Afghanistan, okay? But we wasted
This is a really good point.
Yeah, so why did you do that, sir? Why did you waste all that money? Let's just say $42 billion. That's plenty. Why did you waste all that money creating a completely incompetent army despite all of the esprit de corps or corps d'esprit or Vietnamese instant cha-cha-cha? Isn't it? Can we not just say cha-cha? Do we have to say cha-cha-cha?
Yeah, this is a really good point that you're raising, and I want to bring it forward because the president the president just
just as little Afghanistan, okay? But we wasted.
This is a really good point.
Just let's be quiet and listen. Okay, you're sitting in your living room. You're let's say 12 years old, so you understand a little bit about how the world works. And now your grandmother is arguing with your uncle.
Point. Yeah, this is a really good point that you're raising, and I want to bring it forward because the president just put together. The president just put together a budget, Mr. President, and it doesn't have any increase in spending on defense spending. It doesn't have any increase in
something about Dick Cheney. I think stupid people like Dick Cheney
spending for Homeland Security. And I'm wondering if he's going to be able to get his economic plans through, given the disaster that has taken place in Afghanistan. Your thoughts on it's really Bernie Sanders' budget, and it
is not.
It's much spending on a green economy, but no increases in defense spending or on the homeland.
This is a liberal channel. Yeah, Covfefe paper. In fact, most mornings we do something called Spilling Covfefe with Kevin Lee Father. So you're welcome to check us out in the morning. And please, you're welcome to make comments. This channel, although I consider myself a liberal, but only because Newsmax called me a devious liberal on the air, I play middle of the road, and I will fact check either side. But if you'd like to learn something, then absolutely stick around. And if you'd like to say something, and if you have something substantive to say, then we'd like to hear it. So welcome aboard. I love it when the opposing view comes in.
We're spending on a ridiculous Green New Deal, but China's not spending on that. China's opening up their
No, China is spending billions on green energy.
Coal-burning plants all over the place, one a week. China's not doing it, and Russia's not doing it, and India's not doing it. India lets out a lot of food, get a great relationship with the president.
Oh, yeah, because he's got a great relationship. That's important.
Yeah, great. But I'll tell you what.
Great. Double great.
Is not doing it. Okay? None of them. Look, we are cleaning America, but no other country is doing it. And, you have a big planet out there. We're just one little small piece of land. And if it's clean, good. But if China's filthy, India's filthy, Russia, and all of the others, you have to see what's coming out of Africa.
Okay, well, maybe let's do a little something I like to call America First. Maybe that.
And you see what comes over to Los Angeles and the sea. 10-foot thick of garbage that we clean up.
What?
And if it's clean, good. But if China's filthy, India's filthy, Russia, and all of the others, you have to see what's coming out of Africa. And you see what comes over to Los Angeles and the sea. 10-foot thick of garbage that we clean up all the time.
So there's a 10-foot stick of garbage coming from Africa to Los Angeles? No, there is not. That is not the way the oceans work. That cannot happen. From Japan, we can get garbage in Los Angeles. I'm in Los Angeles right now. Trust me. There is garbage coming down with the California. You got the North Atlantic current, then you got the California current, and it moves this way. And on the other side of the world, underneath, it moves the other direction. And the trouble is between Africa and here, there's the Pacific Ocean, which is like half the planet. And then there's Australia, Indonesia, etc. And then there's the Indian Ocean, which also rotates this way. There's no 10-foot stick of garbage coming from... Where did he hear this? What is this? It's just... How is this man in charge of anything? 10-foot stick garbage from Africa. Something new every time. That might be it.
Garbage is just piled into the Pacific Ocean, and it floats over, and it lands on the beaches of Los Angeles, and then we
okay, but Africa is not on the Pacific Ocean at all.
Talk about the environment. We are such fools in this country. Such fools.
That 100% agree.
Fools. It's so bad.
I want to ask you about the Republicans. I'm glad you mentioned Mitch McConnell.
Speaking of fools, what about the Republicans? It's a nice segue. She's doing well.
Because the Republicans, I believe 18 or 19 Republicans agreed to this infrastructure plan, Mr. President, even though the Biden administration has yet to acknowledge the crisis at the border. We're talking about...
Biden called it a crisis, so I don't know how that's not acknowledging the crisis at the border. They've broken out FEMA. They've changed the way things are working. They re-upped Trump's Title 42. I don't know how that's not admitting that there's a crisis at the border. Acknowledging it. Yeah, they've been doing things about it.
7,000 people being apprehended every day. If you look at the July numbers, 212,000 people apprehended.
Nope. That is inaccurate. It's 212 encounters. Many of those people, I'll pull the numbers up, but it's like 35, 40% are the same people being apprehended multiple times. And why? Because our Customs and Border Patrol does one hell of a job.
In the month of July, and these 19 GOP senators agreed to spend money on infrastructure and open the door to a $3.5 trillion, which is really $5.5 trillion reconciliation package, even though they got no promises on the board.
So her number is 212,000 people, okay? The actual number is 154,288 people. 212,000, 154,000. That's a huge difference. Those were encounters, not people. She should know that. She has a job on the TV. A majority of those were single adults. They're immediately expelled under Title 42. 45% of the total expelled under Title 42. An additional 9,948 encounters involving family unit individuals. Those were expelled under Title 8. And or processed under Title 8. It's complicated. But yeah, no, it's nowhere near the numbers that they're saying that they are. And they all get sent back. Who gets to stay in the country? Unaccompanied minors because they're children. Families with children who have a valid asylum claim, which is, fun fact, completely legal.
No comments whatsoever about the fentanyl coming into this country. 93,000 overdoses as a result largely of fentanyl. Your thoughts on what the Republicans just got us into?
Yeah, the overdoses happened in 2020. Damn it, Biden.
With this infrastructure vote.
It is a shame that the Republicans did it. It was led by Mitch McConnell, who's not a leader. You know that. You've known that for a long time. I have. I've known it for a long time. I'm the one that got him elected. When I endorsed him, he went up. He was going to lose the election. I endorsed him, and he went up.
Yeah, because Republicans always lose in Kentucky.
20 points in Kentucky. I love Kentucky, and they like me. But I shouldn't have done it. I should have taken him out in the primary, which I could have done. They had a guy that could have absolutely beaten him so easily. Mitch McConnell doesn't know. He doesn't.
Well, then you made a mistake, sir. Thank you for admitting you made a mistake.
No, I heard yesterday where he said it's 1%, less than 1% our budget in Afghanistan. We spend $40 billion in Afghanistan.
52 billion.
And it's a
I think he said 1% of our forces. I didn't see it, but I'm guessing that's what he said.
Fortune for our country. And, you know, for those that like to say, like the war hawks, like Liz Cheney, who doesn't know she's alive, and Mitch McConnell.
Liz Cheney doesn't know she's alive. Okay.
Stay there forever. We can't say that. But here's the problem.
That's what he was saying about Biden, too. But Biden bears full responsibility for what's happening in Afghanistan. Who's even running the country?
Withdrawing is the right thing to do. But the way they withdrew will go down in infamy. There has never been a worse withdrawal. There has never been a more stupid group of people doing a withdrawal. This is unbelievable, where the military leaves first, and then they say, oh, we have to go back and get our civilians. And we're leaving. We're talking about hostile people. We're talking about very, very hostile people. These are people that are now saying, we have 40,000 American hostages. What are we going to do with them? That's the way they think. And if you think this ended yesterday, you haven't seen anything. And this is going to be nothing compared to
Hold on. Cost of the Afghanistan war, 241,000 U.S. deaths? How many Americans have died in Afghanistan? Okay, Operation Freedom. 2,338. 2,300. That's from August 16th of 2021, so a couple of days ago. So 2,300 American service members lost their life in the 20-year conflict in Afghanistan. This says 241,000 U.S. deaths. What? Let's see what the source is. Cost of War Project at Brown University. Okay. Hold on. Oh, there's Jennifer Gray. You know what? She's a bombshell. Cost of War Project, Brown University, Afghanistan. Here we go. Okay, cost of war. Okay. Afghanistan. Budgetary cost of the U.S. That's billions. Okay. War deaths. Here we go. U.S. military. A U.S. contractor. National Military Police. Total. Afghanistan, Pakistan. That doesn't have us on there. Okay, the Cost of War Project also estimates that 241,000 people have died as a direct result of this war. People, not U.S. cost. People, this is U.S. deaths. This is multiple people are involved in this completely egregious mistake. This is 1,000 times wrong. 10,000 times wrong. I'm wrong. This is 10,000 times. It's 10,000% wrong. I can't do numbers today. But I know this number is wrong. 2,300 American deaths. 240. That's how many people total. Afghans, Pakistani, foreign tourists. Liz Cheney, who doesn't even know she's alive, so she's including herself in this count. Oh my God. That's the figure. 241,000 total deaths of all people, not just U.S. deaths. Just insane. Hold on, because I want to capture that. Let's do this. And boop. But again, multiple people. There's the person who says, I want that figure in the graphics. There's somebody in the graphics department. There's a lead of the graphics department. I'm assuming that there's somebody in charge. Probably not, but let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. Then there's the producer putting it on the air. Then there's Maria sitting there because she can see the feed as well. I just glanced at it and I said, whoa, hold on a second. That can't possibly be right. It isn't. I'll tell you exactly how wrong it is, because we got a calculator here at the show. So we're just going to take 2,300 divided by 241,000, and yeah, so there you go. It's not even within a percentage. It's almost 1% of the total. So yeah, let's do it the other way. 241,000 divided by 2,300. Just to kind of give it on the outside. So yeah, I can't even. Okay, well I think I've harped on that enough.
Carter with his hostages, he lost because of it. Jimmy Carter with his hostages is a peanut. A good term when we're talking about Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, because he was a peanut farmer. I get it.
It's a peanut compared to what's happening here. They have 40,000.
Well, let's see if he gets all the hostages out, shall we? Why don't we just let things play out here? And I'm hoping that none of the Americans get killed. I'm hoping there's minimal death amongst the Afghans. That's what we hope for. I know it's not a problem because the Afghan army has tremendous spirit. But we're hopeful.
People, not to mention all the other Afghans who were supposed to help. And, you know, our country can't take in hundreds of thousands of people. We can't do that physically, but you've got the...
Sure we can.
Southern border where they're...
We have 330 million people here. We can take in 100,000 people.
Letting people pour in. Now we're going to let in half of Afghanistan. You know, when you go in...
We are not going to let in half of Afghanistan.
To Afghanistan, you hire people, you pay them. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't mean you take everybody that wants to come to America. You know, it doesn't...
So it's okay if they die because they got money for a little while. That's fine. So anybody really with a job at any point in their life, kill them.
Work that way. If you look at the cost of this, it's immensely expensive. It's very, very expensive.
We've already paid to have these Afghans die. I get it now. Thank you, President Trump. Again, America's teacher.
And Mr. President, already there have been 1.1 million apprehensions at the southern border year to date. A judge has overturned the Remain in Mexico policy. Do you believe Mexico will comply? What about this return in Mexico federal judge ruling?
Return in Mexico? The stay in Mexico, but okay.
The Biden administration has already applied for an appeal to this, but they're supposed
They've appealed it. You don't apply for an appeal. You just appeal.
to put back in place the Remain in Mexico. Don't we need the Mexican authorities to agree to that? Will they comply?
Well, I got the Mexican authorities. My relationship with the president,
I know you did.
the great guy, is outstanding, and I got him to do it. I don't think Biden's going to get him to do it. He has no respect for Biden. They have no respect for Biden. I got them to put 28,000 soldiers while we're building the wall so people don't come in. We had the best numbers in the history of the border. We stopped.
No, you didn't. 2019, you had the worst numbers since 2000.
Stopped drugs by 78%. They weren't coming in. I mean, it was a...
During COVID. Migrant encounters. See? Now the graphics department is on it. These are encounters. These are not individuals.
Amazing. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
The real figure is probably somewhere around 600,000, maybe less. Because every month it's counted again. So if they keep trying to come in and they keep getting caught, they're counted over and over and over again.
And then they rigged
come back anytime, Kofefe. Join us in the mornings for Kofefe.
the election, and we have a different president. The election was so rigged, and just shows you how important elections are. This was an election. We won every one of those states. It was a disgrace.
Oh, now they won every one of those states.
What happened. So they rigged the election, and now we'll see what happens, but people are really angry.
Right now, Dominion's like, yes. Oh, yes, because they're suing Fox News.
They are really
I don't know if Fox Business is named in the suit as well, but it's the same parent company, so.
Angry. It's a shame. But he's killing our country, Maria.
And now we're living in fear again, Mr. President.
He's killing our country. I don't know what that means. Is he talking about DeSantis now?
I'm wondering if we're going to be living...
I'm hungry. Is anybody else hungry? Are we just about done with this? No, he goes on for a while. Oh, God. We might have to split this into a two-parter.
Living in fear until the midterm elections so that mail-in ballots can be the standard. I want to get your take on needing proof to go into restaurants, needing proof of a vaccine to go into certain stores.
Yeah, I want to hear that too. He's not going to answer it. He never answers anything. He just goes off on tangents about everything is so unfair to him.
Your thoughts on where we are with these new mask mandates coming back. And now the FDA has approved a coronavirus booster shot. The administration is getting set to recommend a third shot for the fully vaccinated. Sir, would you get a booster shot?
Let me tell you,
I don't know that he's going to answer this question.
Proud of the vaccines. The vaccines weren't supposed to happen for 3 to 5 years. I brought the FDA in. Nobody has talked to the FDA.
Okay, get past the bragging part. We want to hear the answer to the question. You know, the thing you never do.
Like I did. They don't like me very much. We have a vaccine, and it's saving millions of lives throughout the world. I think we'd have a Spanish flu situation like in 1917. I really do. I believe that. And we're, maybe 100 million people, 50 million, 100 million people like that. So I'm very proud of the vaccine. I've taken the vaccine. I'm very, very proud of it. At the same time, some people don't.
Wait. A CPAP got recalled for cancer? Because I have a Philips CPAP. Am I dying? What is happening? I'll check that out on my own, guys. I don't know if you guys are interested in it. But, yeah, so I might have cancer, guys. So if you'd like to help me with my medical bills, become a patron, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo.
Don't want to take it.
I love my CPAP. I will sleep with my CPAP. Yeah, but if not for the 1917 flu, we'd still be in World War II.
And, when I was president, you didn't have this problem with people not wanting to take it. They don't take it because they don't trust Biden, and they don't trust the Biden administration. When I was president, you didn't have people protesting the vaccine. If you just think back.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Many, many people said they were not going to take the vaccine. Like 40% of people were saying, we're not going to take the vaccine no matter what, when Trump was president.
Everybody wanted to get it, and we were giving out over 1 million shots a day. We had that thing rocking, and he's now president, and he's doing a lousy job at coronavirus. Coronavirus is back. If that ever happened to me.
Oh, great. Yeah, there's like a huge list of CPAPs that are, so I'll have to check that out and sleep without my CPAP and wake up multiple times and snore and have dreams about drowning. Sounds great.
Where it came back, okay, when I left, it was virtually gone. It was over. It was a path. Now it's coming back through the Delta. And
4,000 people died the day that Trump left office. That's way more than are dying right now. The coronavirus, COVID-19, was not over. That's just the dumbest thing. I don't know how. Like, there should be laws against that. Here you go. One moment, please. COVID deaths, okay? January 19th. Deaths. Okay, January 20th was the day that Trump left. Deaths on January 20th, 4,380 deaths. Right now, yesterday was 1,128. Way better, but really bad But you can't say, oh yeah, I left and 4,300 deaths. It was gone. That was it. Idiot. Just, why doesn't anyone hold him responsible for anything?
I don't know if you even want to call it that. All you call it is the China virus.
Okay, guys, I found it, and I lied to you guys. Remember I said 40% of people? This is like November 9th is when the vaccine was announced. It wasn't approved until December. But even when they said that, hey, will you get the vaccine? I said 40% of people said they would not get the vaccine. I was wrong. In this poll, which is Pew Research, which is reputable, it was only 39% said that they wouldn't get the vaccine. So, man, I was way off. Sorry, guys. I dropped the ball on that one.
Is back. And so why is he doing a good job? He did a bad job with SARS, the H1N1. Very bad job.
12,000 people died from SARS. Under Trump, 400,000 people died, and they continue to die anyway.
Joke of a job, a horrible job. All of a sudden they said, oh, he's doing so well. I'm the one that did well. I'm the one that got all the equipment. I'm the one.
Oh, my God. He sounds like the stepchild, right? Oh, everyone's saying he did good just SARS. I'm the one who did well. I'm the one who loved. Why don't you people love me? Just embarrassing.
That got the vaccine. I'm the one that did well. If it came back.
He just said it again. Wow.
Can you imagine if I were president and it came back at a level where it's just as bad right now?
Yeah, actually, I can totally imagine that.
In some cases.
But it's not just as bad. Florida is just as bad.
The press would decimate me. They don't even talk about it.
Well, look.
They don't even talk about COVID. No, the press is not talking about COVID right now. Hold on. Just want to check something here. Let's go live. And, okay. Here's on CNN. As COVID hospitalizations soar in Florida, Governor DeSantis touts new monoclonal antibody treatment centers. But the press doesn't even talk about COVID. That's right now. This very second. That's the live feed. CNN is talking about it, sir.
I mean, you've got these breakthrough cases, and the White House is not telling us if it was the Pfizer shot or the Moderna shot that people got, that they're still getting.
Yeah, they have. Moderna's still more effective than Pfizer on this, slightly. But we've got limited studies on this breakthrough cases. Some states don't even announce their breakthrough cases. But yeah, Moderna is more effective than Pfizer right now with the Delta variant. We know this.
COVID, let's face it, Governor Abbott in Texas has announced he has COVID. He was fully vaccinated, and now he has COVID. So what is going on with these breakthrough cases that we...
Delta variant. This is exactly what is expected to happen. There's nothing surprising about this.
Can't get any information about out of the White House.
What are you talking about? I just told you what it was. Where do you think I got the information from? The White House.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to issue it because there is one vaccine that works better.
How do you know that, sir? Oh, where did you hear that? Was it from the NIH? Was it from the CDC? Was it anywhere else in the executive branch? Or did someone tell you that secretly? Sir, I've heard that the Moderna's better. Or the Pfizer's better. They're going to have to issue it. Yeah, it's on the site. You can go look.
And I will say this. Some of these companies, I won't use the name, but I will at some point.
Pfizer. You can just say Pfizer.
They own the FDA. They own.
I won't say the names, but I will at some point.
Obviously, it's not Johnson & Johnson, because when they put the pause on with Johnson & Johnson, they said, we're going to pause it. That set the vaccines back in terms of getting the shots. As soon as they did that, I said, what a bunch of fools, because they put a pause on for no reason. And the people,
except for the people dying.
People don't know Johnson & Johnson, and all they know is there's a pause. That means the vaccine maybe hurts me. And
okay, that's you, sir. Those stupid people, those are your voters. So this is where you can fix things.
That's when you started with the lack of people wanting to take it. I recommend that people take it. I also recommend that you have your freedoms, that you do what you want to do.
I recommend that the people take it. I also recommend the freedoms.
But it's a disgraceful situation. Now, one thing, when you have the vaccine, people that do, and it's a very small number relatively, but people that do get it get better.
What? Oh, I think he's trying to say a very small number of people catch it relatively, which is accurate. And he might be actually giving us good information here. Somebody write this date down. Actually, it was yesterday.
Better much quicker. And it's a very important thing to know. They don't get nearly as sick, and they get better. Lindsey Graham's an example.
Yeah, that's true, actually. He's absolutely correct. If you're vaccinated, you don't get nearly as sick in general, and you generally get better. And Lindsey Graham did have it, and apparently is better now.
He said, if I didn't have this vaccine, I would have died.
Lindsey Graham did not say that he would have died if he didn't have the vaccine.
You know,
it's a great point. It's a great.
He said I would have been much sicker. If he did, I sit corrected. If anyone has any information on Lindsey Graham said he would have died without the vaccine, let me know.
So when you get the vaccine,
but I still come back to the idea. I still come back to the idea of a booster shot. I mean, yes, you're right. The vaccine.
Yes, that was the question some hours ago.
Sounds to me like a money-making. That sounds. You know what? That sounds to me like a money-making operation.
So Trump is saying, don't get the booster.
For Pfizer.
It's just a scam from Pfizer. And as, by the way, they just had the stock price for Pfizer. It's down. So if this is Pfizer idea to make more money, it's not working. Oh, did I just skip ahead? I don't know.
Jimmy Carter.
Oh, for God's
with
sake,
his hostage,
I went back.
Writing on the wall, I could see the dollar signs in their eyes of that guy that runs Pfizer. You know,
that guy that runs doesn't have any names.
The guy that announced the day after the election that he had the vaccine.
It wasn't the day after the election. It was several days later.
But we knew that, and I knew that.
Yeah, he announced it November 9th.
That's accurate. He announced it November 9th. The election was November 3rd. That is not the day after.
You're right.
He is not right, Maria. He said the day after.
A few days after the election. Mr. President, I got to get your take on economic matters. I got to get your take on economic matters. The Federal Reserve is expected to start unwinding some of the easy money in the next few.
Oh, this is just going to be idiocy now. Let's see. How much more of that do we have? No, he's still on there for an hour. Once they start asking him about economics, he knows nothing about the Fed and how economics work. Well, you know, that's pretty much the same for everything. But do I have it right now? Do I have what? Tim Pfizer. That's right, babe. He's the CEO of Pfizer. Mr. Pfizer, line 1, the president would like to speak with you. This carpet here at the TBD studios tends to snag up on my chair. That's why I'm kind of jumping around. Plus, we're out of light. It's dark outside, and now I look like I'm undead. So I'm going to, coming up on 2 hours of the broadcast here, if I do Spilling Covfefe tomorrow, we'll cover the rest of this interview. We also have an interview with Newsmax to cover, and an interview we didn't cover with Sean Hannity, although Hal Sparks did that. If you want to see analysis of that, we might do it as well, because there's always stuff that other people miss. There's a ton of stuff in here. You know, I'd like to think that I do a good job with these, that I bring you people insights that maybe other people didn't say, but then I realize it's just baby food. No, it didn't. I don't understand. Afghanistan is just baby food. Or no, Vietnam is just baby food. Something is... Okay, I'm hungry. That's it. I'm going to go find... yeah, it's dark outside. See? Dark. It's darkness. That's the camera picking up the light and accentuating it because it's turned its exposure up. Oh, wait. What if I do that? What if I just hold my hands up like that? And that's... Okay, I'm just going to do the rest of the show like this. Someone start Maria. Someone hit... Can one of the judges come in here and... Nope. All right, kids. That's it for tonight. It is dark here. It's in Los Angeles, so we're at a lower latitude. And that's how my attitude works. I have a lower attitude. And now as soon as I put my arms down, yeah, see? It gets all wacky again with the exposure. Okay, guys. That's it for the broadcast today. We'll probably broadcast tomorrow. Probably do Spilling Covfefe, depending on how many auditions come in overnight, etc. And as long as I don't hear blood and treasure anymore, oh damn it. Plus, I'm almost out of vaccine. So that's it for me for tonight, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see some of you tomorrow. Tomorrow's, I think, is Friday movie night. I think we're still doing that. Producer Joanna knows, can we all complain to YouTube to get you remonetized? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. All right. And producer, what? I don't know. We're good. We're shutting down the broadcast. All right, guys. So we will see you probably tomorrow. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. And most importantly, be sure to like this live stream. And be good to me.